The world you know is not always safe. Sometimes the shadows move. Sometimes the silence screams. These are not just tales for a campfire. These are moments of true fear. Experiences that burrow deep. They stay with you, long after the lights come on. These stories come from ordinary people. People like you. People like me. They remind us of a chilling truth. The veil between our world and another is thin. Sometimes it tears, just a little. Enough for something to slip through, something that doesn't belong, something that watches and waits. These encounters defy easy answers. They leave scars on the mind. Imagine you are alone in your room. The house is quiet, too quiet. You hear a floorboard creak upstairs, but you live alone, or do you? These are the questions that haunt us, the possibilities that freeze our blood, the fear of the unknown. It is the oldest fear of all. Tonight we explore that fear. We delve into stories of the unexplained, events that turned everyday life into a nightmare. Prepare yourself, for what you are about to read is real. These are not dreams, they are terrifying truths. Listen closely. The darkness has stories to tell. A young couple bought an old house. It was on Hemlock Lane, their dream home, they thought. But dreams can turn sour. The house had secrets, dark, old secrets. It started with small things, a cold spot in the hallway, doors closing on their own, whispers just out of hearing. Their little boy, Sam, started talking to someone who wasn't there. He called him Mr. Grins. His parents thought it was an imaginary friend, a common thing for a lonely child. They were wrong. Mr. Grins was not imaginary. He was something else, something that lived in the walls, something that wanted to play. One night the mother woke up. She heard a sound from Sam's room, not crying, but a low guttural laugh. She crept to his door. She peeked inside. Sam was sitting up in bed. He was smiling, but his eyes were wide with terror. A tall, dark shape stood beside him. The shape turned its head slowly. It had no clear features, just a wide, unnatural grin. The mother screamed. The father rushed in. The figure was gone, but the cold remained and the faint smell of damp earth. They moved out the next day. They never looked back at Hemlock Lane. Mark was driving late one night, a long empty stretch of highway. Rain lashed against his windshield. He was tired. He wanted to get home. Then he saw a figure by the road, a woman, drenched and shivering. He felt sorry for her. He pulled over. She climbed into the passenger seat. She didn't say much. She just stared ahead. Her clothes were old-fashioned. Her skin was pale, too pale. Mark tried to make conversation. "Bad night to be out," he said. She slowly turned her head. Her eyes were dark, empty. "He's waiting for you," she whispered. Her voice was like dry leaves rustling at the old bridge. Mark felt a sudden icy chill. "Who's waiting?" he asked. The woman didn't answer. She just pointed a bony finger forward. "There," she said. "He knows your name." Mark looked ahead. He saw nothing but the rain and road. When he looked back at the passenger seat, it was empty. The woman was gone. He slammed on the brakes, looked around wildly. No one. The door hadn't even opened. He was shaken, deeply shaken. He continued driving, much faster now. He reached the old bridge she mentioned, and then he saw it. Another car, headlights off, blocking the road. A figure stepped out. Mark knew somehow this was who she meant. A group of friends sought thrills. They decided to explore Blackwood Asylum, abandoned for 50 years. Stories clung to its decaying walls, tales of suffering, of madness. They went at midnight, armed with flashlights and bravado. The air inside was heavy, cold, and filled with despair, a silence that felt alive. They moved through dark corridors. Peeling paint hung like dead skin, old gurneys rusted in forgotten rooms. Suddenly they heard a noise, a faint dragging sound, coming from deeper within the asylum. They called out, no reply. Only the echo of their own voices. The dragging sound came again, closer this time, much closer. One of them, Sarah, felt something brush her hair. She spun around, nothing, but the air grew colder. Then a door at the end of the hall slammed shut, violently, with no wind. Panic began to set in. They saw a shadow move, a fleeting glimpse of something tall. It vanished into a side room. They had to know, or so they thought. They pushed open the door slowly. The room was empty, except for a single child-sized chair. rocking gently back and forth on its own. A child's lullaby seemed to drift in the air, faint, barely audible. That was enough. They ran. They didn't stop running until they were far away. The asylum kept its secrets and its echoes. Some places hold on to the past, and sometimes that past reaches out.